Hey, folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Podcast. It's a show where each week we're going to be sitting down with Vincent Daly to get his thoughts on the latest movies he's been watching, both older films and new releases. And don't worry, there's no spoilers. Vince will give a brief review of the movie, share some thoughts, and of course, then rate the film. The daily ratings are always fair, honest, and most importantly, they're consistent. On today's show, Vince will be rating and reviewing. We are covering a film that came out just a couple months ago called Ballad of a Small Player, and that was directed by up-and-coming director Edward Berger. We're then heading on over to Netflix for Jay Kelly. That's directed by Noah Baumbach. And Vin is hitting the theaters to cover Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and that is directed by Emma Tammy. So, let's get Vincent Daly in the room, hear what he's got to say about these films. Stay tuned and enjoy the show. Mr. Vincent Daly, how are we doing across the table, my friend?
Promise, how's it going?
It's going okay with me. How was your week of movies? Hanging out on Netflix a little bit?
Hanging out with the kids in the theater a little bit. Yeah, all over the map. There is no theme to this week.
No, we all over the map. But what was your theater experience? Big crowd?
Very big crowd.
Yeah, I was going to say, had a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, opening night, it was something else. I also think, it was like a Minecraft movie scenario where there were so many things that flew over my head, clear over my head.
You're the old man.
But got such a uproar from the crowd. I was like, what am I missing here? What's going on here? So
based on a game, correct?
Yeah. We covered the first one.
Oh, I remember we covered the first one.
Yeah.
I think you gave it a 52 or something like that?
I don't know about 52.
We got above 50.
Yeah, I think it was a 50 on the dot.
You defended the film in a way.
In a way, yes. In a way, that first Five Nights at Freddy's, and we'll talk about it in the review itself. It kind of took 4+ games and mashed it into one, which I feel like for a fan service type of thing, it was blandly acceptable.
Right.
Boy, this new one is not good. Not good.
Well,
the gas is empty. The gas tank on this idea is already dry, and it makes you question why did they?
It's going to keep going.
No, actually, absolutely.
Blumhouse will always. You think your blood dry? No.
No. But yeah, I mean, it really used up almost all of the ideas that I would say would be worth, I don't know, out of curiosity, checking out what's going on with this fan base online. All of it was packed in that first film. So this new one is oh, okay, it's Casper now? Kid has ghost friends and they're in animatronics. It's oh, okay.
I can't wait to hear about it. Okay.
Yeah.
You did give the OG, you gave the first one a 50. Yeah, 50 on the dot.
50 on the dot.
Yeah. So.
Where maybe that deserved a little bit lower, but I do kind of stand by it. It's just
also, why not come
That's a single shot of anything you're curious about with this fan base online with Five Nights at Freddy's.
The game, whatever. Watch the first one.
Exactly.
And also, why not come out? Remember how weak October was? And how Halloween week was?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, they're crushing it. It made $63 million.
Sure.
I think worldwide it made 110, and it only had a budget, they're saying, between 30 and 50. So it's printing money as of this coming weekend already.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
So anyway, and then we've hit up Netflix for Jay Kelly and Ballad of a Small Player.
Yeah, and next week we'll be doing more Netflix. I mean, this
what it looks like
bleeds into the news show. I mean, quite a bit going on with Netflix right now.
Yeah, folks. I mean, if you want to get up to date, the latest of what's going on, do check out the news show that came out 2 days ago. Basically, whatever I don't know. I tried to consume everything. I mean, everything was
I think you did a great
written
job
about it. And then what do you care about? What do you not care about?
Yeah.
I just tried to boil it down to what we need to know. And now the ball is up in the air. I mean, I'll continue to kind of touch on it. But as far as us talking about it on the podcast, we'll wait until something's concrete.
Or the dust settles a little bit
bit more. And then I can freak out about it, and you can tell me how much it doesn't really matter. And, but that'll be later once when things get more figured out.
Yeah.
But yeah, quite the week for Netflix.
Yeah.
And a lot going on. Yeah, we had Frankenstein. Now we got Jay Kelly. Then we're going to get, the one next week. Wake Up Dead Man.
Yep.
Which I'm excited for, obviously.
Yeah.
Ballad of a Small Player by Edward Berger. This was...
was this a proper Netflix
No,
release?
it was not. No, it wasn't. But it got acquired and it got picked up right away to get released on it. Because I think they want to stay in the Berger family. Berger did make All Quiet on the Western Front with Netflix as his first main feature film. And that's the thing. This guy is a big director as far as coming out of the gate with All Quiet. Got acclaim. And then Conclave, which got a huge amount of acclaim. But that came out a year ago.
Yeah.
A tiny little bit more than a year ago. And he already came out with this film. And it came out months ago. I personally, I don't know. I don't know the strategy behind him. I think it's a little bit too quick. I think it's a little bit too small of a movie.
Oh, okay.
It's like, well, I mean, didn't it come down between him and Denis for Bond? So it's just
really?
Your name is huge, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't do these small, I don't know. Maybe you loved it. We'll talk. I watched it. We'll talk about it. But
I definitely liked it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting.
I'm definitely going against the grain a little bit on the sentiment
you know
of the movie.
what the talk is.
Yeah, that it's a lot. It's almost too much sauce on that movie. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think when it comes down to Berger is that he is a director that lives in the visuals first. And I feel like this movie was, is maximalist. It was doing so much with the visuals that I could see where in a critical space, that being a turnoff. For me personally, I really was in love with the movie.
Well, okay. I mean, do you have any opening notes, or should we get into it?
No, yeah, we can jump into it.
Let's jump onto this. So it is on Netflix, Ballad of a Small Player. Like I said, I think it came out throughout the film festivals. I think it got a technical release a few months ago, very limited release. Netflix gobbled it up right away.
Yeah.
And it hit streaming right away because it was not doing so hot. It's, like we said, directed by Edward Berger, coming off of Conclave. He's already got other stuff in the works. And Colin Farrell is the star of this film. But basically, the critic stuff wasn't so much visuals or anything. It's just that it was a lackluster movie. It didn't have enough punch. It was very small.
And over-directed was a critique kind of slung.
And the themings, it just didn't feel all that great or half-baked because you could feel maybe the rushness on it. That's the overarching 30,000-foot view of what was going on here. A lot of it is mid-grade. Not terrible, but really nothing to get excited about was kind of what the talk was. Like I said, I watched it too, but you go ahead and set up Ballad of a Small Player, and we'll take it back and forth.
Sure. So, folks, despite, again, this buzz around the film being mostly negative and kind of the classic shifts of Netflix getting something, releasing it, and then it's just like promptly forgotten. I feel like this definitely falls into that category. There could have been maybe a little bit more behind the release on this. I feel just an attachment to our director for Edgar Berger, or as we call him, Eddie Slider.
Old Eddie Slider coming at you.
Yeah. And if anything, these last two films of him are some of the highest over the years of doing the podcast. Both last projects, All Quiet and Conclave, show he is a director I feel worth paying attention to because of how he uses visuals and the medium of a visual storytelling, to really give something special, to make it worth actually watching this movie versus consuming just another story. And this new release is no exception to that. The style, I would say, drips more than ever. Because of that, I feel like some substance is lost in the process. It comes down to that this maybe isn't the most worth it story. If anything, it really feels like it belongs on streaming in the classic way that we've always talked about.
Yeah.
I feel like this is still absolutely a recommend from me because visually, I think it killed it. I really was in love with the look of this film. And we'll talk about it in a second of just like where Berger boils down to having like a handful of money shots in his movies where it's just like, oh boy, you got to see this. This movie was like every scene was like that.
It was an extremely good looking film.
Yeah.
I like his color palette on this was really good.
Yeah.
To the point where it's very consideration taken in much like a oh my gosh, Budapest Hotel, Phoenician Scheme.
Yeah, Wes Anderson.
Yeah, where Wes Anderson is king at that kind of stuff and blocking and how he sets up in his colors.
Yep.
He was doing great on this.
Yeah.
The problem is, that doesn't hold up. You can't hold up a movie with just that, though. And it's the substance, at least on my end, where as much as the film was pretty to look at, which I am in complete agreement with you, I don't know, did the rest of it hold up to this great look?
Sure. I totally get where you're coming from with that. But Ballad of a Small Player is a psychological gambling thriller set in the intimidating casinopolis of Macau. I really don't have much, awareness of what Macau was before this.
Clueless
I
about
wonder
Macau.
if he went to Macau as a victory lap after Conclave, and he was just like, you know what, we're making a movie here. Much like a real bender, however, the atmosphere of the story shifts quite a bit. A lot of the times it becomes a dark comedy, dips a toe into some psychedelic and surreal aspects as well, but most of all it is tragic. The story is tragic to gambling itself, always one bet away from the big payoff. We follow Lord Doyle, or the many names we'll know him soon as, a high-stakes roller bobbing in and out of luxury with his luck drying up fast. He has over a $300K debt floating over his head, and that is just the start of things. Here, in this Chinese gambling paradise, he's able to snake through the casino scene as a Guai Lo, effectively letting him roleplay whatever character he can cook up to secure the appearance of wealth. This requires him juggling countless characters with different degrees of letting them onto his game, the Cantonese spin to his surroundings becoming hostile water the more he wins. New and old friends corrode as Lord Doyle's mask slips, revealing a bottomless pit of what his character is willing to do in order to fuel his degenerate gambling. But one thing is certain, however, if the massive piling debts don't kill him, the stress certainly will. I'm going to definitely start with the visuals, even though we just kind of already talked about the visuals.
That's all right.
But I love the look of this film. I really, really love the look of this film here. So much so that aesthetically, yes, it was a lot to deal with, but I feel like it was still a match for the story that was being told, which was this gambling, alcohol-fueled excess, bender that is happening in a city that might as well be lawless to him. Berger shows, I feel like, that his strongest suit is using these visuals of his movies to craft drastically different atmospheres. Conclave couldn't be farther from All Quiet, and now Small Player couldn't be further from both. And I feel like I had a lot of respect for this movie just because, man, Berger shows that he's not even a Swiss Army knife, but he's making creative risk. He's not living in a single genre.
No,
he's
100%.
Being a true visionary when it comes to that.
And listen, Slider's got style. That's no doubt.
Yeah.
He does have style, and then now 3 movies in, he can claim. I just love that he has. He's not generic in any way.
Yeah,
and he's got this style about him that separates him from being ordinary or from being just another good director. I like watching it and be like, boy, this is an Edward Berger film.
Yep.
That's cool that he was able to do that in the matter of 4 years.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Absolutely.
So I'm continuingly excited to what he's got going on. The story itself is slimmed down and pretty, it is pretty small and compact.
Sure.
Well, how were you getting into it? Were you enjoying yourself in the story? Were you actually engaged and enthralled with Colin Farrell and his character and what's going on?
I think on a couple levels. One, the conflict of these piling debts is communicated well, and it's communicated primarily through Colin Farrell's sweat on his brow.
His acting was
very
good in this.
Is sweating. He sweat more in this than probably in the fat suit from Penguin. Like, seriously. So I feel like there's an aspect of that. I like the world building. Again, kind of the introduction to Macau, how much it had fun in the city of it, but also creating a world of these swindlers, these con men, and how often the schemes of the people involved in the story are revealed almost like as shit is hitting the fan. That's how we kind of find out a lot of the backstory of Colin Farrell's character, Lord Doyle. It's basically through the accusations of saying, hey, the jig's up, like, what are you doing on this? So we find out at the same time. I feel like that rhythm of we have a goal with the debt, that debt is piling, and more shit is hitting the fan. That's where I was really engaged with this, and like the world building of these criminals and swindlers.
No, I totally can see that. Yeah.
But cinematography wise, this gives us just, constant swirling shots to show Doyle's descent, a kaleidoscopic amount of colors to this city, and my God, just a lot of close-ups. I think I'm more familiar with Colin Farrell's pores, his the amount of sweat this man can produce, more than I am with, like, I don't know, whatever Jay Kelly was, you know what I mean? Like, whatever that message was trying to be. I feel like when we reviewed his last two movies as well, we spoke a handful about these money shots that are worth checking out. Two that come to mind: Conclave. You got that overhead shot where it's all the cardinals filing in. You got the umbrellas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then probably like the French tank sequence from All Quiet. Real big like moments. Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding. I was watching this movie and I was saying, every shot is the money shot.
It's good looking. I think Conclave had a handful of them too.
Yeah,
true. There's a lot of good. The guy just knows how to direct a film.
Absolutely,
is what it comes down to.
Yeah,
and he knows its color. Not saying it's not just same cinematographer on All Quiet. By the way,
yes, Skips with Conclave.
Yes,
back with him now. James Friend.
Yes, yeah. But for sure, it's a good looking film. You can't say it's not a good looking film.
Yeah, and I think where it boils down for me is like. There's care put into making this more than just another Las Vegas bender. There's things done in the world building, and all of that is informed from the chaos and, if anything, the over directing, as criticism is being slung at this. Mm-hmm. That is worth it. It's over directed for a reason. I feel like the amount of shots, the amount of variety, the amount of visuals and whatnot, it's a blur because guess what? This character is going through a bender. You know what I mean? A significant 6-figure gambling bender.
Honestly, the over direction of it, which I can see how some critics would say that.
Yeah,
it's also. To me, that is what I was enjoying about the film, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because if listen, basically Macau, the Asian Vegas, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
If you are going to be overdoing it, that is a town of splurge, of overdoing it in every way. Colin Farrell's doing it. If it's right in your face, the directing of it, I just think it's very appropriate.
Yeah.
I will say that is appropriate to me.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's where, like, I was at this point about halfway in. I was like, what are people saying that's like this bad about this movie? Like, it has like very bad scores. And to the point of like, Farrell has been on a really good rise. Like, I'm surprised that this didn't get more publicity, even just him being attached to it.
Well,
Tilda Swinton as well. Granted, she acts in a lot of stuff.
No,
but
Tilda is in it.
Yeah,
not a ton. Here's where Farrell is at though. He's in some not great films or movies that are not doing great. So he came out with this, which was a dud.
Okay.
He came out with that one that we didn't cover with Margot Robbie.
Oh, you're so right.
Massive dud, huge box office. Just like no.
Right.
And quite honestly, it's reading the temperature. Penguin season 1 did not hit as much as Warner Brothers was hoping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know it was respected, but I don't think it was exactly what people really wanted, and there was some people towards the end starting to not lose interest in it.
Sure.
It still has its fans, and it did get picked up for season 2. But I just feel like I've been seeing a lot of Colin Farrell, but nothing has been great. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think the last thing that in fact, I turned on, what was the one he did? Boy, my recall ability, it's just garbage here. The one on the island with, what's his face from In Bruges?
Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, Banshees of Inisherin. I turned that on again because I love Colin Farrell, and by the way, he's a great actor. Like,
we've also had a lot of Colin Farrell this year with like The Lobster and shit like that.
Oh, that's right.
Killing the Sacred Deer.
But he is a great actor. He's great in this.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of on his shoulders.
Yeah,
and there's points where he's freaking out. There's this one gross kind of scene where he's like gorging himself.
Yes.
With like lobster, and
man.
He's going for it.
I loved it. It was so enjoyable to watch him, just be this scumbag. And again, how that's peeled away. We're not really like given a flashback of like, and his dad hit him, and he was a gambler too.
Oh, it's quick.
We're almost like revealing the depravity of this character through like, oh wait, he's gonna like go this far to get out of a bill, or to swindle his way out of like a massive, now another like 100K debt that's over his head. Like, it's just like, this is, and I think that's where maybe the message of the story, maybe the substance of the story, a little light towards the end, and we'll talk about the ending just a tiny bit.
Okay.
You know, when it comes down to it, like I was excited to be introduced to this world, the world building of Macau, the characters, obviously, and just again how we're peeling back the layer of just like, wow, how much of a scumbag are we actually dealing with here, and how far will he go? So. But that's where I was kind of, pausing with like questions of like, how did this get such a bad thing? I think the criticism on it is definitely split between this over-directing piece and then just like not being wowed with the story at all.
Yeah.
Thinking the story is basically just like crumbs, if not like, wish fulfillment in some ways of just like, all right, if that's how you want to go with it. But for me, I certainly see how this could be maximalist in its style. It just never got close to a critique for me because it was all executed. I feel like Berger's ability to get these scenes and not really have any flaws to them. I mean, I was just blown away. This blown out style also separates it from just yet another casino movie. And I think that's important to note as Berger isn't stumbling in making these fresh jumps to something new. I'm much more excited to see what the fourth film, God knows what genre or subject matter is going to be. And that's where I think I was really into this movie. I think my main pitch here, folks, really comes down to the card games. Baccarat is the flavor of the gambling, though, and it does a lot to sell the high risk everything is, how high risk everything is. This character is literally a single hand away from riches or ruins anytime, and you feel that in the story. For me, I think where people enjoy Casino Royale from 2006 or Rounders from 98. Matter of fact, any movie where the card game matters, I feel like this is for you. That's where this was working for me. I don't know. What do you think about the card games themselves?
Yes. I don't think it's at all on the Rounders or Casino Royale level.
Okay.
As far as the intensity of the game and you're in the game and you feel you're on the edge of your seat because you're so invested in actually what's on the cards.
Sure.
I just don't think it quite holds a candle to that, in my opinion.
Okay.
I do see how it can scratch that itch. Don't get me wrong.
Where the card game matters. It has more than just being window dressings for the story.
Okay.
Yeah,
no. I see where you're coming from. But when you watch Rounders, we watch Casino Royale, that it's its own character practically.
Yeah, true.
I think more, and also I just think those are better movies. So
okay.
I mean, there's
Fair.
that too.
Fair.
I love that you love this movie.
I do. I really did love this.
I'm shocked.
I think there's a degree of like Baccarat is. I've never played Baccarat. I had to research a little bit of it. Like the fact that it's single, it's almost like cold hands you'd play. I mean, poker in the comparison of Casino Royale and Rounders, much more complicated. There's a lot more mind game that can happen at the table,
right?
Other than just like, all right, what'd you flip? You know,
Yeah.
what'd you flip on the cards? Again, I think where card games matter in this kind of general theming of the movie, I think that's where the conflict was something compelling, where some of the theming maybe was a little light for me. The big debts tallying up are genuinely terrifying, and seeing how much he scrambles and how much he gets a little bit of money and he's just gambling it away just to attack the debts. And that's a real conflict there for the story, and having how old debts claw their way back into his life. I mean, if money talks, I'm screaming for help if I was Lord Doyle in this. Like, I mean, it's like, I feel like that hit real. All sold through Colin Farrell's performance. It's a bit cartoonish. I love just how much of he's not so much, I should say, a master gambler, but he just knows how to work the system. And how many times he's able to weave some lifelines out of nothing, minor things, because I don't want to spoil what is there for the movie, but like getting out of a check when he has no cash. I love just like how much he knew the casino system to just weasel out of this, He's just one of a innumerable amount of swindlers and con artists in the city, and just the way that we are introduced to most of his backstory, the way that we're introduced to this whole world is almost right as the shit hits the fan on the scheme itself. And I found that refreshing as far as the writing. We're not just given just countless backstory. We're given the story by the sweat on his brow. Put this man in a Predator 2 remake. There's a lot of sweat. When it comes down to where I do see some critique for the film is definitely in the third act or so, where personally I think I have some theories of what kind of happened in this story. Folks, if you care enough to talk about spoilers like that, write in. I'd be happy to give the warning and dive into a little bit deeper of this. But I feel like the issue of this movie is it ends pretty hollow. It ends hollow in a way that it doesn't feel like the trajectory it was even going. I think the trajectory of this movie at the start of that third act was going to go a lot darker. And I'm not saying there's a bow on top, but we definitely have some resolution, more resolution than probably this character deserved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it does kind of leave you just like, oh, okay, all right.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right. Interesting. I think that's where my kind of theory, story-wise, would maybe come into play. You know, that's really regardless. I feel like the main experience watching this is a little bit of disappointment at the end. For me, its style was huge. It might be a little thin on that deeper meaning. It might have an ending that's a little bit on the weaker side. But if you enjoy a blown out aesthetic of something like The Substance, Substance,
Yeah, a little bit.
kind of weak
bit.
when it comes to like the real like deep story. It's all just like
Substance.
yeah, right. Yeah, right. It's Substance somewhere else. I feel like this kind of sits side by side in that way. And if you enjoyed something like that, obviously, less the body horror, something that focuses on style first, focuses on world building, and maybe story deprioritized from that, I still think it's a great watch. We're going to go ahead and give Ballad of a Small Player a 71.
Okay, a 71%. Okay, yeah, but still, you're still tamed score here. We're not talking the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. 71. Okay,
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm getting nervous over here. This is going to be the best movie of the year. Come on.
Cinematography, maybe.
The word that stung out to me, the word that stung out that just struck with me, you said the word thin. And that is what I was feeling kind of with the film.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, you're spot on with kind of the Substance thing. I mean, it's a little bit almost like, don't get mad at me, but when I say The Gambler with what's his with Marky Mark.
Mark Wahlberg?
Yes, Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, right.
It's that same thing of Gambler on the Edge, about to lose it all. People might come for him.
Yep.
So, again, I look at it more like that than I do a Casino Royale or Rounders.
Okay,
in
fair.
my opinion. That's kind of the basket I kind of put it in.
Yep.
I do think it has a place. I mean, I could maybe see myself returning to it. But, okay, 71%. I'm not gonna go shit on them film. Okay, 71%. Because I don't think it deserves to be either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, maybe coming in with a little bit of a bias for our director specifically. And
I'm glad
some excitement of just like, he's doing something new.
Yeah, folks,
Like-
behind the curtain here, Vin has been pushing to watch this for a while. And I was just like, the reviews on it, right? The critical response on it, right? And then he finally, Vin was just like, this is the week. We can finally watch this.
Yep.
And thank God, honestly.
Yeah.
I love that it's on the list.
Yeah.
Edward Berger, by the way. So I thought he had 2 projects. He's got 3 projects on the docket. So the first one is the Jason Bourne Exodus. So that we knew about. I covered that on the show because as they relaunched that, I think he's going to honestly make a great Jason Bourne film.
Yeah.
And talk about like, he didn't get Bond, so he's going to pick up Jason Bourne. I kind of love that. Also, very different from all his 3 films that he's come out with before. He has a movie coming out called The Barrier.
Okay.
There's nothing, the plot is unknown, but it's a sci-fi. It's starring Austin Butler.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then he has one called The Riders, which is slated for next year, 2026. It's a drama. An Australian living in Ireland embarks on a frantic search for his missing wife, starring Brad Pitt. And that one I have done some research on. But anyway, the guy moves quick. I think he should be maybe a little bit careful with his pacing.
Yep.
But I can't wait. All those are going to be I just can't wait. I like what he's doing.
Yeah, and I respect variety. I respect, maybe making some
Go do a franchise film. I'm cool with that.
Experiment a little bit, and that's where I'm here for. I mean, if anything, I'm worried the most in getting tied up with a franchise film, but plenty of directors have, Chris Nolan, classic example of like use that only as momentum to the project they want to do afterwards.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped. By the way, the writing team and like producers on that look very good as well.
Okay.
We could get a pretty good Bourne relaunch.
How many Bournes will that make? Is that a perfect 5?
Well, that will be.
We got 3. The one with what's his face, Jeremy Renner,
and then the 4th. And then now this will be this will be 5.
Okay.
Because remember, Matt Damon came back, and I think that one's just called Jason Bourne.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Yeah. So this, I guess, will be the 5th, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do another trilogy out of it.
Sure.
Just make it good. I don't care. Matt Damon said he'd be cool to come back for one more.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So that was Ballad of a Small Player with a 71%. Let's go. You want to head to the theaters, right? We'll save Jay Kelly, you said?
No.
Oh, no, that's right. That's my bad.
Let's do Jay Kelly.
You want to do Jay Kelly?
Yeah.
You did flip it in the beginning before we started.
I did. Well, honestly, I don't really have too much of preference. We're in Netflix land. Though,
Okay.
so
We Netflix fan. We've been signed in already.
Yeah.
Jay Kelly, directed by Noah Baumbach, who has really worked a lot with Netflix. He came out with White Noise, which didn't do too hot, but he also did Marriage Story, which is great. And I forget what else he's did.
I think one more. I'm
Yeah,
with you.
he has done one more.
Yeah.
But anyway, he is like a well-known name throughout Hollywood.
Yes.
And here he is. He's working with Adam Sandler is co-star, and George Clooney is playing Jay Kelly. So I watched this as well.
Yeah, okay.
This did get some Oscar. I think I said it before last week or something like that. It was getting some buzz in the beginning of the year. Now that's kind of tampered down a little bit.
Okay.
But it's still, fans still has some of its love. People love it and find it charming in a certain way.
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if it might get some recognition in some way, because I also brought up the fact that this is a movie about Hollywood and movies ish
Showbiz.
and typically those kinds of people like these kinds of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, so it's Jay Kelly. You set it up, and we'll talk about it.
Well, like we talked about in an earlier episode, this really felt like Netflix is taking their movie-making assets and throwing them into one crock pot. Mainly Noah Baumbach and Adam Sandler, both having long-term collabs with the platform.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, Adam Sandler's is still ongoing. I'm sure Noah Baumbach will continue after this as well. I think my lack of interest on this one, though, is exactly what you're talking about, Tom. Like, it's all in its subject matter. Next to acclaimed shows that we've been getting, like The Studio, I'm just a little burnt out on Hollywood parodying itself.
Yeah.
I'm not into. I would be not into the category of like enjoying anything that's in like a showbiz drama, or like an inside look behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's not really your vibe.
Exactly. So now, even though this is all fake Hollywood, or fake Hollywood in a story, the fictional Jay Kelly exists in an idealistic version of the industry, and I think in that kind of rose-colored outlook, that's where this loses the edge, where I would say this was kind of worth checking out. I feel like this is a checkout for performances. I think this is something to check out because of the ease of Netflix, and that's about it. I was really kind of like drying up on a reason of like why this would be something worth watching. I don't know.
I was hoping it was going to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
At one point, kind of halfway through the film, I was kind of sitting there just asking, like, what is this?
Yeah.
What was the point of this?
Right.
Why do I care about this?
Yep.
As we get closer and closer to the end, I'm saying, was this just a film so we could have random close-ups of George Clooney's face showing different expressions?
For AI later on?
It is a lot of George Clooney just with different facial expressions.
Yeah.
A little bit too much.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a defender of Noah Baumbach. He writes a lot, too. Like,
Yeah.
he helped on Barbie, and
Absolutely.
him and Greta Gerwig were married at one point. Like, he does a lot. He is in the industry, and I do have respect for the guy. I just don't know how to feel about it, honestly. I don't know. Again, it is a why type thing. Towards the end, obviously, the film does have a message, absolutely.
Sure.
But the ride of the film seems quaint, somewhat cute, but very unimportant.
Yeah, absolutely.
In any way.
Shallow. But unimportant is probably even closer than shallow because I feel like every character's arc in this movie, as we're revealed it was just kind of like, okay. Almost like suck it up. You know what I mean? Not to be insensitive to the message of this movie about, kind of a late coming of age, kind of around meeting and whatnot. But there was a lot of degrees there, or a lot of characters specifically, that we get revealed their big kind of emotional payoff of the movie, whether that's relation to Jay Kelly or just kind of on their own little island. Almost all of them, I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, because it came to the point where I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay, I do kind of want to watch it. I like it. Another, by the way, good-looking film.
Yep.
I liked how this film looked. It's pro. I mean, it really is. It's nice looking, and it should be if you're doing a Hollywood movie.
Yep.
Whatever. The film looks nice. But I'm sitting there and I was, wait, did we set up the film? I'm sorry.
No, we didn't.
Okay. Jumping in. Okay, do you want to give the synopsis, the quick plot of it?
Sure. I actually have a line here, is that the story can be summed up in one line. Everyone knows Jay Kelly, but does Jay Kelly know himself?
And trailer. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, Jay Kelly's, it's a showbiz comedy drama. It's got a very existential spin and a lot of an optimistic spin as well. It's not exactly doom and gloom, except this being kind of structured around a nervous breakdown or a crisis of a late stage actor. That spin is a love over life, though, and how time slips through even the most successful of fingers. While he's never truly alone, Jay Kelly, for his life, very little sticks out to him as memorable, as his effortless charisma lets him kind of coast through life successfully. But slowly, we grasp that this autopilot mentality has sacrificed any sort of meaningful relationship he would like to have in the twilight of his career. His manager, Ron, might be the only exception to that, looking out for him the most and sacrificing his own life in service of the stars at the rate of 15% of the gross earnings. But this dedication blurs the line between friendship and ambition and really the role that Star and their staff have to play. A chance encounter has Jay dropping his latest movie and going on a run to Europe in a slow-burn nervous breakdown, further isolated from anyone he would actually consider significant in his life. And Tom, all I was saying when I was watching this, as soon as I saw they were going to Europe, I said, whoop, Sandler is sharing his production tips with Baumbach. We get a free trip to Europe out of the production.
Right, we go to Italy.
It's just
beautiful.
A Sandler comedy again.
All right,
It's his way of making movies.
Okay. Adam Sandler is almost like the best part of this film, to be honest about it. Right. So what I was...
what his neck, his handkerchief he wears on his neck?
I did that was funny. So going through this, I mean, the comedy doesn't really hit. Again, it's more of a cutesy, quaint type film.
Yeah.
I would say that what I
definitely almost feel good in its like coming of age.
Yeah.
It's trying to make you feel real warm and fuzzy and a little bit maybe cries at the end.
Yeah, so it'll tear you down and bring you up a little. Yes. Yeah. I think that, again, as I was sitting there, what am I liking? I'm also not liking this. Was kind of just the writing structure. So even though maybe we thought maybe it was a little bit weak all around, and even the story was a little bit weak, the flow of conversation in the film,
right?
Maybe that's what I could at least shine some sort of light on and say I kind of like this.
Sure.
When all of a sudden him and Adam Sandler are going at it or something like that, or there's a back and forth, it does seem very natural or almost naturally awkward. So I thought the structure of that was good.
Yeah.
Again, do you find yourself caring? Do you find yourself, are you sitting there saying, okay, all right? You know, Laura Dern probably plays one of the maybe third largest characters somewhere in that. We kind of touch on his kids a little bit and through these flashbacks as well. I just don't know. It was hard to sink my teeth in and to really enjoy anything.
Yeah.
To the extent of I could be like, this movie was really quite good. And I think it makes more sense now after it came out. More and more people saw this.
Yeah.
Why it kind of went down and down on people's lists.
Right. It looks like a big Oscar platform for acting performances. What we joked about of just like it's the every 3 years or so, can Adam Sandler really act? You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I get it all, but
that's really your battle you're having. That with yourself.
I'm holding that battle
for sure.
I'm holding the line.
Not a single story have I seen written on it, but absolutely, that's a you. Can
Adam Sandler really act?
But then you watch it, and the shallowness comes through.
Yeah,
the lack of importance comes through.
Crumbs.
Yeah.
And
you've seen it once, you've seen it.
The story of these people, it basically is trying to create the conflict of like, well, we have a star in crisis, but turns out everyone in his life has been kind of going through stuff, but basically bearing it. You know, basically taking it on the chin to keep Jay Kelly happy and you know, kind of placate him and whatnot. But I mean, once those emotional ties, once the Band-Aid is ripped and we're kind of like getting, you know, down and dirty with it, it's just like, who cares? I mean, shallow.
The
arcs of every character in this are just like, okay, you know.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I'm glad we're unveiling it in the twilight of this career, and there's maybe some worth itness to tell this character's story, but there was just nothing original to it. I feel like Noam Baumbach is a character. Is a character. You know, he's maybe a character. But he's a writer that surprises me. White Noise surprised me. You know what I mean? He's a writer that...
You weren't a huge fan of White Noise either.
No. It surprised me on a bad way.
Right.
But I feel like Baumbach is a writer that has chops because he's bringing something new to the table. There was nothing new brought to the table, especially of all the showbiz stuff that has been coming out.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of it's structured kind of the way they do. He enters into his flashbacks, kind of. It's very stage play-esque.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get, it's an industry movie, kind of, and it is really a platform for George Clooney. This is a George Clooney movie.
Yep.
Through and through.
A little bit of Sandler. I mean,
Yeah, but come on. It's a George Clooney movie.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing is I think if you like this movie, I think just because you're cool with the window dressings and you're really enjoying George Clooney.
Yes.
We don't really have that much skin in the game.
No. And if anything, because it moves in a different direction because I don't want to see Adam Sandler.
So I think, again, with the Sandler thing, I had no issue with them. Again, I was talking about Clooney, but... But it's more so the most I can give it is, okay, structure and the writing style I can kind of dig, and it looks nice.
Right. I think one area of praise for me is Baumbach actually directing here. It's not so much his writing that I appreciate. I feel like often the conversations and memories that are pulled out stream of consciousness style for Jake Kelly, that's often actually seeing him transport into these key moments in the backstory with Jay witnessing his own memories. I feel like that's a good payoff of the film because this weaves some imagination into these scenes that would otherwise just be exposition. It would just be dialogue.
Yeah.
Great if that came out the same, but there's just a touch more imagination to this and how that's introduced to us. I think in these moments you can see the value of just in general, no less Baumbach, having a director write their own storyboard, having that play out. In ways I feel like I kind of hoped the entire movie was going to play out in that. We're almost internal to his crisis and we're blipping around into the different memories that come into way. But tacked into this is like... let's go to Europe and surprise my daughter, and I'm sure she'll be happy with that. Like, it's the most idiotic thing I've ever seen. But I really did enjoy, nonetheless, like, any kind of flashback in this was not done in a lazy way. There was always something to... on screen, physically transport Jake Kelly into the memory, and I think that was good. So,
one thing we have to touch on is there's an actor, when you do the flashbacks, there is another actor playing young George Clooney.
Oh, yeah.
No de-aging here.
Yeah.
Doesn't look anything like George Clooney. I can't believe they couldn't find a better person.
They colored his eyebrows in pretty heavy, but that was about it.
I was just like, ooh, maybe we should have done de-aging. Because I didn't know for a second that this was a flashback of George Clooney.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So, I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't know how to feel about it either.
Wasn't
honestly.
Impressed by it. Yeah. And Billy Crudup, the another actor that's in it, they found his flashback guy looks okay.
Looks pretty decent.
Kind of looks like a young Billy Crudup. Yeah. And boy, just... George Clooney's the main guy. Get a better, more George Clooney, young-looking person, please.
I'm with you. It didn't.
Not a big no, but you know what I mean.
No, I'm with you. I didn't know how to feel about it, honestly, because I was looking at it. I'm kind of with you. I was like, do I want de-aging? Is this a feeling of just, am I actually gonna turncoat on this issue?
No, I just think get a better guy.
Yeah, get a better guy.
That's what it comes down to.
But
Christ, you could put me in there. I mean, at that point, the guy they put in there is just like, this is not George Clooney at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was just some random guy, literally.
It's
for 2 minutes, I'm just like, oh, it's George Clooney.
And George Clooney also has like such a like he's definitely hamming up the actor face. His like
not?
His picture face, and it's like, well, you gotta come close a little bit to that.
If you watch it, because it's good, it's up the charts on Netflix, and you might turn it on for movie night. This could be a movie night movie.
Yeah.
With your significant other, whatever, but. Really take stock of just how many close-ups of George Clooney's different faces we get. I feel like it's half the runtime.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially scenes where another picture of him is in the background and he's just like, just being him. I would say we've hit a lot of what my notes are for dialogue and exposition we cover from these scenes, and the fact that the internal flashbacks always good almost. Everything else uncovered in backstory to side characters and even Clooney himself or Jake Kelly as the character himself, just very painfully simple and hurts the complexity of what I thought the story.
Painfully
was
sinful?
Simple.
Simple. Okay.
Sorry, I misspoke.
Like, still, a little harsh. Painfully sinful.
I was still thinking about Ballad, a small player. But yeah, I almost expected there was more going behind the scenes of this character, and when we revealed it, it was like, oh, you really shot under almost. And again, the word I really come back to is shallow with this. Every moment that lets the audience reflect on the message of the film, we are given probably 2 more times of the amount of low-hanging fruit with stories that involve people around Jake Kelly. Possibly this is even pulling from kind of like industry stories and those type of aspects. I'm not saying that reconciling with your job or the past isn't important to these characters, but not an ounce of it felt original, which became more than a little bit disappointing coming from, again, a writing talent like Baumbach, an interesting voice.
Yeah.
It felt like almost he had like a venting session with a couple agents and industry people, and he was just like, I can write a story around this, you know? But I think once I settled into what this movie was really about, I really did. I lost a lot of interest with this one. The journey of self-discovery was just an eye roll for me in its sentimental tone, its overly sentimental tone. It really challenges how empathetic the audience can be for a character this successful, even though that's kind of the point. Like, he has everything, but he has nothing. Again, in the second act, the fact that Jay thinks an idea of, like, hitching along his daughter's Europe trip, like backpacking trip, is going to be met with any enthusiasm was just like such a stupid idea. Like, oh my God. But I feel particularly disappointed just with what this had the potential to be, and just how much crumbs we were actually dealing with here. Because with such a clear platform for acting performances to just springboard off of, I could not help but feel how impossibly shallow everything felt, even some of those acting performances of what they had to work with. And that's going to take more than some tears of Adam Sandler to solve that for me. We're going to go ahead and give Jay Kelly a 53.
Okay, 53%. Okay, all right. I might have liked it a little bit more than that, but I kind of felt some similar stuff to how I felt about Ballad of the Small Player, of just lacking thin a little bit, shallowness, but we certainly just went over all that, though. But, okay, 53%. I'm definitely not going to give it shoes, that's for sure.
No?
No.
Well, how much higher do you think you are?
No, not that much higher. Not that much. My shoe would be right around your percentage, so
okay.
it's fine.
My shoe.
I still, check it out if you're someone, if you're a Clooney person, watch it. I don't know. I can see it being like a date night movie for whatever reason still.
Okay.
Again, it just looks good. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely a little feel good. It's safe, you know.
You know what, though? I'm thinking of the ending, though, and it is bothersome.
It's just
it is bothersome.
Like, what are we doing here?
Okay, all right.
What are we doing in Europe, Adam Sandler?
I'm fine with it. Adam Sandler was enjoyable. But okay, with that, let's go ahead and go
real quick.
into...
Hold up.
Okay, all right, what's up?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Did you think his crying was like significant, like as an acting performance? What did it sell you on it?
Yeah, because I had to say, Adam Sandler could be like a weird socially person.
Okay.
I feel like he has 4 different ways of speaking, depending on what scenario he's in.
Interesting.
So
we need a graph.
When I see him crying in this movie or shedding a tear, I'm like, there is an actual Adam Sandler that would be probably doing that like that.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean,
opposed to the fake.
There's
Adam
not
Sandler.
much character there. I mean, it's just like it's kind of just a quiet talking guy.
I think
talking to Jay and talking to his daughters. I mean, that's it, right?
And his wife.
I know you're not the biggest fan. That's fine. That's all right.
I don't know. I thought it was. I don't know. I thought the crying specifically was something that kind of irked me.
Who was your favorite character?
I don't know.
Laura Dern?
No one.
Daughter?
No one.
Okay, all right.
Definitely not the daughter.
Okay.
I mean, I was on her side. Like, don't.
Well, that's the older one, too. There's the other daughter.
Right, okay. You know.
All right. Well, with that, folks, let's go ahead and go into our producer segment because we have a couple of producers to thank for this week. So we have a producer who we have seen before, Michael Romano, coming in, and then we also have a new producer who's going by the name of Fair Volty. So first, we will start with Michael, who sent in a movie ticket for us, Vin, and he also did the cover charge, or not the cover charge.
The gentleman's answer.
Yes, the surcharge that PayPal puts on, so we appreciate that, Michael. But anyway, Michael writes in a note, so he goes, Vin and Tom, I heard somewhere that George Clooney will reimburse you for your movie ticket if you talk to him about how you hated Batman and Robin. He's always had a really good sense of humor on that, which I appreciate.
And that also is... That movie's a doozy.
No, I know. And he knows it, though. He knows it. Therefore, I'm going to step in for Jeff Goldblum here and reimburse the pod for the movie ticket. This was the only time I've ever fallen asleep in a theater.
Whoa.
What a waste of time, he says.
Wow.
I had a kid a little less than a year ago, and this was the first movie I've seen since. Whoops. Should have checked the site first.
Oh, wow. Well, congrats on the kid.
Talk about value added. I walked out of that movie thinking that was kind of a letdown, but that last song is a classic, which is what everybody's saying.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The last one's a banger.
It
That's what I
is,
hear.
it is, yeah.
Only to find out from the pod that the majority of the second half of the musical was filler. So thank you thank you for letting me know just how mad I should be. I saw the first around this time last year and had mostly positive things to say, much like you, Vince.
Yeah.
The animal subplot is dumb, but I think you see that movie more for the musical and spectacle. Or for the music and spectacle. This time around, I think they got too carried away with the plot and lost the main draw. They could have dropped the entire animal storyline and just played up the animosity between the two witches.
Oh, absolutely.
Throw in some good songs and set pieces, and hit the heartstring at the end with 4 good. But instead, we got Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Yeoh reading lines while thinking about what their next movie is going to be. I'll say one bright spot is Ariana Grande's performance. Knowing how the second one ends, there's a subtlety in her performance in the first movie that I didn't notice the first time around. It's not Oscar-worthy or anything, but I'd like to see what she can do outside of a musical.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what Mike writes. So first of all, going with my theory, do not do animal subplots. Animal subplots do not work. They will ruin your film, or at least bring it down for a large chunk of it.
Oh, that's right.
And
You compared it to whatever Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, absolutely. Animal subplot. And I bet I can conjure up some more as well.
No, I think
the old noggin here. There's something going around. I mean, obviously Jaws has a big animal subplot, but that's the movie.
Right.
But okay, and then it sounds like same thing, like you had. Like first one, good. Second one, complete letdown.
Absolutely.
You fell asleep.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, he's probably just got a 1-year-old, you know? Guy's probably exhausted.
Yeah, sleep deprived. Sleep deprived.
Oh man.
Well, hey, thank you so much for writing in. I mean, I'm glad that you agree with some of my beef for the film. I mean, it's kind of hard with Wicked because there is so much of a fan sentiment that kind of will now dominate the conversation around the film now that critics have kind of come and gone on it.
Yeah.
I'm curious where that lands, you know.
I think disappointed.
Yeah.
From my understanding, I'm not all over the place listening to everything, but from some podcasts that I've listened to and some reviews, true fans who are also movie reviewers who just love the content, love the play, were relatively disappointed with this. And so I think it's kind of across the board.
Yeah.
Now, when more movies get made, which more movies will, I think they'll show up. They'll still show up.
Yeah.
But I also understand that. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think when it comes down to it, I would be a lot more eager to see what they could do with the third one rather than this one in hindsight, just because it felt like they had to clean up the rest of the crumbs of the songs that they didn't use in the first split. Now, this third one, what is it going to be? All new songs? Is it going to be a musical at all? You know, I feel like there's
great question.
At least I don't know.
There's 11.
There's not hope, but there's there's unknowns that make me curious.
There's 11 Frank Baum books.
Oh, wow.
11 Wizard of Oz books. Now, I know Wicked is its own separate thing, and I think that's not Frank Baum, but who knows what they're going to do? Who knows?
I will say, I don't know why I think about it so much, but I think about that Return of the Oz movie, which I wasn't even that hot on, but it was just such a weird...
The theming could be there.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something there. But I do think didn't they try that with Alice in Wonderland? Didn't they try to do the later stories in Alice in Wonderland that are darker?
I certainly don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you were winding up like you were.
Don't forget, they're approaching Alice in Wonderland again.
Yeah,
and
right.
That's what Sabrina Carpenter is attached to. Regardless, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not an Oz guy. Especially that guy. I locked that down when we did the Oz episode.
Yeah, you did.
I'm officially not an Oz guy. I'm much like, by the way, very American. When you look at the breakdown
absolutely
of who cares about this film,
yeah,
it did pretty well. on our turf, on U.S. turf. Not a great international box office.
Interesting.
And I remember seeing that for the first one too. It's just Wizard of Oz, very, very beloved by America, which is cool.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Part of it is a fever dream nightmare, in my opinion.
You've always, I mean, I listened. We posted the individual review. I listened to that whole episode because I really do think it's a great episode.
Yeah.
It's such a wide array of movies. And you didn't want to say it directly, but you were just like, no, this actually scares me. Like, this is a horror movie to me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with me on that one. Okay, anyway, so Mike, thank you so much, man, for your movie ticket. We absolutely appreciate it. And then we have our new producer, who we haven't seen before. So this is Fair Volty coming in with 2 movie tickets for us each.
Wow.
Film. So we absolutely appreciate it. And Fair Volty writes in, so please keep up the good work and love the release cycle and show. You guys are excellent friends, and it shows on the mic.
Oh, that's great.
Heard you boost No Agenda a while ago, V for V, and really look forward to Bulletin Tuesday and the show Thursday. I like how it is a bulletin, kind of.
Bulletin, yeah.
Bulletin Tuesday.
Yeah.
Uplifting, really insightful, and heck, you are so good at spoiler-free, dudes.
Oh, good.
Just saw
I
Interstellar.
think I've been getting actually a little looser on that.
No,
so
you've been
worried, actually.
very. That's all that goes to you. I have nothing to do with that. The no spoiler talk. You're just naturally very good at it.
Yeah.
And it's great that we can talk about a film for 20 minutes.
Right.
And really get a sense of just like, I can still go see this film and be surprised by everything.
Sure.
Just saw Interstellar in the cinema for the first time. We'll need to check your back catalog for Nolan. And if you haven't yet, please consider. Best wishes, Fair Volty. So Interstellar's definitely on there.
Yes.
And high 80s.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe it might be below the 85 mark, but it is definitely an 80s. If anything, I lean very favorably towards Nolan. I mean, even on the ones that I probably shouldn't, like Tenet.
No, that's okay though. That's all right. That's
that's great. I mean, Interstellar. I feel like that movie, for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it was a re-release earlier in the year, like they did like a re-release on IMAX or something.
Okay.
I feel like that movie has like re-entered into the discussion online so much.
It was the 10-year anniversary last year.
Okay.
So it got a re-release. It did hit IMAX again. Yeah, that's why. Why? I cannot find it. Do we have it rated, right?
I think so.
Oh, boy, that would be something else.
Maybe. I mean, I'm really excited for Odyssey because I would love to do a really big Nolan episode. You know what I mean? The Odyssey itself being
Interstellar's
really
81. I thought it was like an 86 or something like that. 81 is still a good... If you're
absolutely.
aware of... Even
excellent
like Fair Volty being a new producer... being in the 80s is very, very difficult for us. Very tough. I mean, we always consider that. I mean, that's an honorable mention as far as a must-watch type film.
Yep.
A Nolan episode would be pretty sick, I have to say.
Yeah.
But, okay, so anyway, we thank you so much for your note. We thank you, Fair Volty, for the 2 movie tickets coming in. And, yeah, I did boost No Agenda. So No Agenda, basically a podcast Adam Curry invented, Value for Value. And, I got to throw support for them once in a while. 1, they created it, and 2, they have a phenomenal podcast, and that's what this is all about. So, folks listening, if you enjoy the daily ratings, if you enjoy the podcast, or if you're using the website, we look at that as value in your pocket. So, can you send us value back in our pocket? That is value for value. Vin and I are not going to have any advertising here. We're not going to have paywalls or tier structures where we force you to give a certain amount of money, usually a certain amount a month, and then you get specialty shows. You get extra content. We're not doing any of that because everyone's on their own finances, and we're also not going to shove advertising in your face and hawk products we don't care about to make a buck. Really, we don't want to
use the word hawk in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 review.
at the first one, you mean?
No, this new one.
Did I?
I was using hawk a bunch, and you just said hawk.
Oh,
I don't know.
That was in my brain. It's an earworm, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we don't want to do the advertising thing. We are completely listener-supported. We are producer-supported because when you financially support the daily ratings, just like when you financially support a project, in Hollywood, you're an actual, legitimate, credited producer of that work. So if you want to be a producer of the daily ratings, if you would like to show support, please send in a donation. You can go to thedailyratings.com and head to the donations tab. Everything there is laid out for you. We do have some set donations, like we have buy Vin a movie ticket. We have join the Gump Club club, become a godfather. But there's the big value for value button there. It's V for V. So you can peg whatever amount that you want. Everyone's on their own finances, and everybody's week to week is different. So you tell us, what kind of value are you getting from us? Don't forget to send in a producer note, just like Mike did, just like Volty did this week. You can email us at tom.vin@thedailyratings.com. That's our email. And it can be questions, comments, critiques. Ask us anything. Start a conversation. Add to a conversation. Whatever. If you're a producer, we want to bring you into the conversation. Hear what you have to say, because that's what being a producer is also all about. And we'll address your note. We'll read it right here in the Producer Thanks segment. And we do thank our producers, Mike, Volty, for your movie ticket and Double Dose movie ticket. Fair, you are executive producer of episode 216. Mike, you're a co-executive producer. And anyone out there listening, if you want to be an executive producer for next week on episode 217, just head to thedailyratings.com. All right, Vin, let's head now to the theaters. This is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We went down the box office. It had a very good box office.
Very good.
I think Blumhouse's most expensive movie yet to make.
Sure, but wasn't the first the most profitable?
But also extremely profitable for them as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and then we'll get whatever, and then the big Five Nights at Freddy's 5. That'll be crazy.
That'll be crazy.
We'll be here to cover them.
No, I don't want that. I don't want to be attached to Five Nights at Freddy's.
I could never get with this main guy. He really claimed to fame is from the
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. Now he's also, then he started doing these, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yep. He's in a new HBO show called I Love L.A.
Okay.
He plays Rachel Sennet's main love interest boyfriend.
I've heard some buzz, but also some really knocks to that show.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Oh, wow, yeah. Okay. Interesting.
and I watched the Chair Company as well.
Oh, okay.
It's just,
nice.
You know what I mean?
Those are pretty drastically different.
Yeah, very different. But they also came out back to back, so you can watch them together. Yeah, I got Landman back there. I got, I'm throwing the line in. I'm catching things once in a while, but I'll get my reports maybe at the end of the year. Anyway, the show I Love L.A., it's good, but it's also disgusting in the same way.
Oh, okay.
It's just like trashy LA people. Mm-hmm. Now they also lead into it, so it's also quite funny.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, Josh Hutcherson, it's tough for me to see him as a lead. It's really tough for me to see that, but it doesn't matter. It's not my franchise. This is your second time here.
This is my franchise, apparently.
You weren't a gamer, right? You weren't in...
No. I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's, there's really nothing knocking them because they are, extremely successful games.
Yeah, they're well-loved.
But they live in that Minecraft space where it's just there's a generation that grew up with this almost equivalent we would grow up with Mario or something like that.
Right.
And that is why there is such a strong tie to this,
Right, yeah.
Even though these brands haven't had the runway to, live a couple generations longer.
And I can also see why it hits, because it is that teen horror, that whatever mystery thriller type thing. It's still PG-13. It's only, what is it? It's an hour and 44 minutes.
Yep.
So it does strike a thing of your parents can drop you off and you can go with your whatever tween girlfriend and see this and feel cool that you're seeing.
Or your group of boys that are going to applaud and cheer
that's true.
every time a new animatronic comes up on the screen.
Sure, it's a video game, of course. I'm sure it's all just young boys. But I bet your theater smelled like Axe and knockoff Old Spice.
Yeah, for real.
Anyway, all right, set up the film. I'll stop talking.
Oh, well, I'll tell you this. I am not the least bit surprised we got a sequel to this, because box office records were broken for Blumhouse with this first one.
Yeah.
And that first Five Nights at Freddy's movie kind of laid out all of its cards when it came to adapting the game's story. Spooky animatronic killers not being enough to make a feature alone, the movie's story basically incorporated the big twists found within the games, which itself took over 4+ entries to slowly reveal to its hungry, really, we scratch that, ravenous internet fan base. And that's also a little bit of the success of Five Nights at Freddy's, that there is a participation the fans do, where it's it's theory crafting, it's what does this mean, what does that mean, and there is substance in the story behind that. But that first movie kind of balled that up into one thing and kind of laid it all out. So where does that leave us for the sequel?
It did so well, that first one. It had an $80 million opening.
Yeah, really
last
crazy.
time. That's insane.
Yeah. For the sequel, like we've gotten with the few horror sequels in recent years, it doesn't have much room to grow at all. Working with crumbs that would be a stretch even to make into a TV episode, no less a full movie. Instead of diving deeper into the game, what the games cover, this builds on a cast of characters no one really cared about in the first place. Josh Hutcherson, probably most of all. And quickly, the movie ducks out of loosely acceptable fan service to outright, say it with me, Blumhouse schlock. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is, again, a kiddie horror flick based on a hugely successful internet horror game of the same name. It takes the PG-13 horror of the first, dials it back a little bit to be even more kid-friendly, and if anything, just to guarantee its box office returns. I feel like this felt strategic, let's just say. This felt planned. We flash back to 1982 to the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Lost to Time, and see the origins of William Afton's twisted creations. In addition to killer animatronics, unique attractions fill the hall, most notably a haunted marionette. Flash forward, we return to Mike and his younger sister Abby trying to live a normal life after the first movie, but Abby misses her spirit friend she made, stuck in killer contraptions or not. But the rumors of a second location offers a chance to connect with them again, as the town is buzzing with the upcoming Faz Fest, and will think nothing of kids poking around a former crime scene. You might feel bad for Abby if she wasn't having so much fun with her new robot friends again, taking them to, I kid you not, the science fair to help out with a school project, unleashing these creations on a town already obsessed with their urban legend. You know, shallow, that's kind of been the word. I'm gonna move the word of the episode to crumbs. This was dealing with crumbs of a story. This has a very, very, very slow start that genuinely just goes nowhere in terms of story. I don't think it's a matter of sequelitis. Like, when I say sequelitis, I say, okay, the sequel, the first came to a full close. Sequelitis, you gotta kickstart the engine.
Back up. Yeah.
Exactly. We have to rev back up. This plot actually doesn't necessarily have that type of problem. It's more so what they decided to follow up with are crumbs of a story. Again, this felt like a TV filler episode of a show we never got. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to take the Freddy Fazbear animatronics to the science fair. That's the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I
you know,
yeah,
and there's some razzle dazzle. There's some shock to, like, oh, now these animatronics are in the real world. You know, that's a pretty bad idea for a sequel. No, it's just bad. It's just it's just actually bad now. The plot line of taking these animatronics to the science fair and just kind of continuing these ghost friends idea, it just didn't, for me, it didn't feel like outside of something like Casper, and I feel like that's where them dialing it back even a little bit safer in its PG-13 rating makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
It felt more kid-friendly than ever, where that first one...
I was still rated PG-13 though, right?
It is, but I feel like this is a drop the kids off. What you said.
I wonder if they got feedback where it could have been a little bit more safer after that first one. Like, it was just they're going off that. You know, try to squeeze as many movie tickets as they can out of it. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, thin is the code word for the episode, it feels like.
Thin, shallow, and crumbs. But I don't know. I don't think that's it. It could have. I bring it up, and I bring up Casper specifically because I feel like Casper's. I mean, I haven't watched it literally forever, but kind of a good movie. I remember liking Casper when I was a kid. No. But I feel like there is a space for horror movies to be intro horror movies for budding fans of the genre. We talked about that with the first one as well, whereas, like, this is a good gateway drug. If you're maybe you're a fan of the game is obviously a lot scarier than anything in these two movies. Mm-hmm. So you're definitely good to see this one, and guess what? It gets maybe new kids into horror watching other horror movies.
I don't mind that genre.
Right.
Kids horror films, say PG-13 safe.
Sure.
I think there should be a place for that.
Right.
I mean, I can't stand horror. I don't care. But, I mean, that's good. I think that would be...
Right.
That is a smart thing for studios to go ahead and tap.
Absolutely.
And it is a tricky thing of, how do we make it safe for kids? How do we make it scary at the same time?
Sure.
There's something there.
Yeah. But
This is just weak. It's weak sauce.
Yeah, it's weak sauce. It's weak sauce even compared to, again, the first one basically boils down to a whole fan service movie, but did a decent job at, again, encapsulating 4+ games into one meatball. Here, you slice into the meatball and there's nothing. I don't know. I'm running out of the meatball analogy.
I mean, is this gonna be a George R.R. Martin thing where they're just trying to pump out more games so the movie has more material?
Tough to say. Scott Cawthorn is the main writer, the main creator of all of this. He's also the sole writer on this project as well.
Oh, so he did the games and he's doing
Oh,
this.
yeah. It is his baby.
Oh, okay,
It is his cash cow as well. Man, he's a solo writer on this. I can't believe I'm saying this because I don't think I've ever said this in my entire life. He needed a second writer. You know what I mean?
You have said this before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Well, I really felt it this time. He needed someone to beef this up a little bit. He's not a script writer. You can feel it. He's a writer of this weirdo lore that the internet attached onto. That's it. I feel like the issue in the story is we really circle the drain on finding out about this original location, this second location, to the point that I wanted to tear my hair out. I'm not joking. The point at which characters are still mumbling out, oh, wait, there's original location? There's more Freddy Fazbear's? I mean, it's well into the finale. Josh Hutcherson says it 30 minutes left in the film. That is what I mean by crumbs. Like, there's nothing to it. There's a single idea of, like, okay, let's get to the second location, pay it off with some, honestly, terrible adaptation of what, like, the game kind of feels like.
And can we fill 100 minutes with that?
Yeah, exactly. And the 100 minutes are... let's have fun time with the animatronics at the science fair. You know what I mean? It's really it's kid friendly in a way that, I don't know, maybe it could work, but something else had to step in there, and it's certainly not. It's not the writing. Again, Scott Cawthorn, solo writer on this, and I just feel like the story is so laid out already. You don't. It's the elevator pitch is done with it. I don't think there's anything really like mind blowing to uncover from this franchise. But nonetheless, we are going to be getting more movies. This has next to nothing going on with it, and barely feels like a story to, kind of fill-in, tie-in comic, like something that you'd get, you'd hawk at a school book fair or something like that. Yeah, there we go. I'm about to dial back a few. But seriously, it feels like a story you'd get like in a tie-in, you like a franchise, you get like a weird tie-in book at a school fair. This is what this feels like. Yeah. This is like nothing. I can't believe I'm saying it, though, but this needed to attempt something ballsy like Megan 2 did.
Just go literally crazy.
Yeah.
Throw a bunch of ridiculousness up there.
Exactly. It tries that slightly, which is like, okay, animatronics in the real world, escaping the franchise, okay. But where there needed to be more push. There needed to be a genre evolution a little bit here. And I feel like it would have been a lot better. I mean, I don't know if it's better box office-wise or not. I think the kids are going to go see this regardless, especially if you're attached to the franchise. But the animatronics being able to stalk the real world, it just wasn't enough. It's also played mostly for laughs. There's not like a single thing scary in this movie for like 57 minutes.
Right.
I mean, it's like, okay. I mean, we're just like slow as slow can be. We get double the amount of killer robots as well, and yet the kills and the threats, they're dumber than ever. And even the few sequences where they try to, again, adapt gameplay for a scene is just so drawn out and so stupid that it really felt like that first one did not represent this. This one feels like the old days of bad video game adaptations. It feels like the 2000s again.
Yeah.
This gameplay, quote-unquote, sequence that they try to adapt, it felt like what they do in the Doom movie with The Rock, where it's like it goes first person for a little bit to try to emulate the game. Exactly here. It's like, all right.
That part was revolutionary. That part rocked in Doom. That movie was so good
easy.
When that came out. When that movie came out, and then when that happened, it was the first time they ever done it on film. Carl Urban, obviously my boy. So ease up a little bit there. But okay.
The world is against you on that one. I don't think anyone's repping the original Doom.
Oh, I'll rep it all day long. But anyway, 20 years later, we've seen the gimmick over and over.
Yes, and it's just. Yeah, it's almost like a thing. Like I'd rather them not try.
Yeah.
It's safer than ever for kids and really might lean into what they want to see, but the project's just lost any of that intro horror appeal by doing so, by being a little bit too safe for it and then just like losing its own, it's lost in the sauce. It's just another money printing machine for the franchise. There is some serious razzle dazzle at the end for fan service, which no joke got roaring applause in my theater. This is where I was like, really, just like the Minecraft movie, there are things that were just so way over my head. Like, I didn't even anticipate them, but got so much joy out of the audience. It's like, okay, great, But don't let it distract you, because this movie had a story that was really next to nothing, being about next to nothing, and was just a total waste of time. We're going to go ahead and give Five Nights at Freddy's 2 a 22.
Oh my God, that's that bad?
Big jump.
That's awesome. Wow,
big drop. I shouldn't say jump.
Is wow. Yeah. Well, I wasn't quite expecting that. That's a 22%. Yeah. That is a low score. That's a very, very low score. It's fantastic.
Let me put it this way. Fantastic. If I'm positively saying, like, oh, you should have done what Megan 2 did.
That's so true, actually. That's right. That should have perked my ears up a little bit more, actually. 22% for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. That's a lot of twos in there. Not where you want to be. Twos. Boy, oh boy. Okay, so not really any standouts. Josh Hutcherson, Piper Rubio, Elizabeth Lail.
No,
nothing much, huh?
Definitely not. Okay. Definitely not. I mean, Josh Hutcherson specifically, let me shit on this a little bit. There is a moment where one of the ghost children reveals himself to him, and Josh Hutcherson's reaction was like, what? Like, it was
not a lot of range, huh?
It didn't even seem like he was reacting to a ghost in front of him. Like, it was like he was just saying hi to a kid in the living room.
Right.
And it's so bad. So bad.
Well, and that 22% marks that's for sure. And what an interesting week we've got here, Vin. Do you have any closing notes, any thoughts, anything to highlight, talk about next week? What do you want here?
Next week, we're bowing down to our Netflix overlords again with Wake Up Dead Man. I'm going to be trying to fit in K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, boy, okay. And I feel contractually bound, so I guess I'll be watching.
You definitely are contractually bound.
I'll be watching K-Pop Demon Hunters. Okay.
And the third one, actually a little bit up in the air. If anything, we might round this out with a full Netflix week and put in Train Dreams. Originally wanted to get to an anime film, but as of like right before we recorded, it looked like it got pushed to February. So I don't think I'm getting to that in time.
Is it a good sign? Is it not a good sign as well?
Yeah, probably not a good sign.
All right, but listen, hey, check out the news show, and when we'll let you know what everything that we are covering. All right, Vin, thank you so much for those reviews. Thanks for stopping by here this evening. Folks at home, we'll run it down one more time. We've got Ballad of a Small Player. That got a 71%. Jay Kelly with a 53%. And Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Say that 5 times fast. And that got a 22%. All right, folks, it's always a blast week after week. We thank our producers. And as always, folks, we'll see you on the news show for Tuesday. And we'll have Vincent Daly back here in the chair next Thursday on the Daily Ratings Podcast. And hey, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you would, give us a good rating or get the word out and tell a friend about us. And just a reminder that the Daily Ratings is completely producer supported. We want to stay away from advertising, and we don't want to have any paywalls or tier structures or subscriptions. It's all just value for value. So, are you finding value in what we're doing here at the Daily Ratings? Then become a producer and donate whatever amount of value that is. Just go to the donations tab on thedailyratings.com, and while you're there, be sure to check out the massive amount of films that Vince has rated. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Daily Ratings Podcast.